This interview is brought to you by the University of Minnesota Alumni Association and the Maroon and Gold Network.
Hi, everyone. Today I am joined by Carlos Reyes. Carlos is a Latino first generation and proud trio student. At the UMN, he obtained his Bachelor in Business Marketing education from the College of Education and Human Development. He currently serves as the Student Relations Chair of the CEHD Alumni Society. He also serves as an advisor for the University of Minnesota's College of Agricultural and Natural Sciences Manners program, which is the Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences chapter. Carlos is also currently the supply chain talent strategy manager at Land O'Lakes. He uses his passion for enhancing culture and developing young professionals to foster growth in early career supply chain talent. And Carlos is now a first time father. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive right into the questions. So, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience at the University of Minnesota?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, first and foremost. So, give you a little bit about myself. So, I attended the University of Minnesota from 2009 to 2013, which is already 11 years ago. It's crazy. Every time I come on campus, there's something new, somebody different. Just age myself a little bit all the time. But anyway, so studied at the College of Education and Human Development. Had a great time there. Majored in business marketing education. Really enjoyed my time on campus. So, like Neil mentioned, I'm a first generation Latino male attending the University of Minnesota, proud trio student, and so I didn't really know how to navigate college a whole lot. I had to learn. And the big thing that I can definitely give, and I hope people leave with this message is that you don't do it on your own, right? So, had an opportunity to participate in a lot of organizations that support students like me and took full advantage of that. So while I was at the University of Minnesota, I tried to make the most out of my experience participating in extracurriculars such as Greek life, student groups, huge part of my development, different minors like Chicano studies and leadership minors, different student resource centers with the goal of having a well-rounded experience at the University of Minnesota. And so, after having that great experience and moving on post graduation, I always wanted to be connected in some capacity, right? And so, um,
Mhm.
fortunately, the Alumni Association, as well as other organizations I participated as an undergrad, have allowed me to do so. So I try to get on campus as much as I can, try to catch as much Gopher sports as I can as well, and just have a good connection to the University of Minnesota population.
Awesome. So, you kind of started going into my next question there. How did you get started volunteering and why do you volunteer at the University of Minnesota?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really started as an undergrad. So a lot of the organizations I participated in had some sort of philanthropic portion to them. And at
Mhm.
first, it's like, hey, we just need a volunteer to come and, shake hands, say hello, that kind of stuff, right? And you got a couple hours, you're sitting around campus, you're like, hey, why not? Let's go. Free lunch. This is great, right? Free
Yeah.
T-shirt, whatever that takes, right? But you start to realize that it takes a community to develop folks. And so when you start to lean in and see the impact that you make, right? Be a familiar face on campus, be a representation that you may have not seen yourself when you went on campus through your
Mhm.
tours. That's a great opportunity to do so. So a lot of the stuff that I would volunteer in was campus visits from various student groups, either through La Raza Student Cultural Center or through the Multicultural Center for Academic Excellence or admissions as well, right? Doing a quick tour, answering some questions, giving a real life perspective of what it means to be a University of Minnesota student,
Mhm.
being able to share my passion about it and say, hey, you may not look like everybody else here, but hey, there's some representation here and we're going to help you out. So that's where a lot of that original volunteering started. And then it really continued on once I graduated from college and now in a much more formal capacity as we'll get into here later.
Awesome. So, with all your experience volunteering as a student and now as an alum, this next question might be a little difficult, but what's your favorite thing or most memorable experience while you volunteered with the University of Minnesota?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got two, so I'll go quick. So the first one is When I was an undergrad, I participated in an organization called Kids on Campus. It was run by Tex Osvig through the Multicultural Center for Academic Excellence. And so that was a program that would bring students on campus from I want to say K through ninth grade. And
Mhm.
so that was a segment that the University of Minnesota wasn't focusing on, obviously, because we're looking to attract those seniors, and that's the big focus because we want students to come to campus. But being able to provide a campus opportunity for students is super important, especially in their formative years there. And so having a chance to
Yep.
volunteer with Tex, do some college tours, that kind of thing. And now in my new role here at Land O'Lakes, I have the opportunity to support CFANs and their DEI initiatives at a formal capacity with Manners, the Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences, and help Tex in that capacity. Being able to come back to campus 10 years later and shake a familiar hand and see a familiar face and say, hey, we did this work a while ago. Now let's do it at a different level here. So that's always really rewarding. I think my second one too is putting on events that leave a lasting impact for others. So through my involvement with the College of Education and Human Development, I have the opportunity to put on various events that provide resources for students, and one of which was candid conversations with a hiring manager to talk about what that looks like when you graduate here. How do you get the job? How do you make those connections in order to get your full-time role postgraduate? And so putting on events that are worthwhile, that are subjects that students really care about and are passionate about and really want good insight on, and want to see a little bit of behind the curtain on what that looks like, right?
Mhm.
And so we put that on that event a year ago, and very recently I had a friend reach out and say, hey, I know you invited me to this event and it was really great at the time, but I wanted to let you know that through that event, it really gave me the courage to have a candid conversation with a recruiter, have a negotiating conversation. I was able to negotiate XYZ, able to land that job that I wanted. And really, it came from that event that you put together with those great folks. So, those two things I would say, make volunteering with the University of Minnesota so memorable.
Those are awesome. That is amazing. So then, with all your volunteer experience, if there's someone out there listening or watching, why would you encourage someone else to volunteer?
Yeah, so I'd say it's a great way to meet with like-minded individuals who are passionate about their industry and that are selflessly giving back to the University of Minnesota. I think the University of Minnesota is a great place to start your career from an academic standpoint, and it's great to come back and give back. Right? I mentioned that earlier. Nobody gets to where they are by themselves. They have a great
Mhm.
net of folks that are pouring into them. Right? And the second thing too, selfishly, right? So I mentioned earlier that I work in recruiting and early talent development, and I want to hire the best of the best, right? And the University of Minnesota, time and
Yeah.
time again, churns out great talent. And so selfishly, it makes my job easy, right? I get to connect with students,
Yeah.
see what they're into, see what they're interested in, and have really great connections with those students. So if anybody is out there, especially in the recruiting space and looking to bring top talent, it's really a no-brainer to tap into the University Alumni Association and connect with these undergraduate or graduate students.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been my pleasure.
Likewise, thank you so much for the opportunity once again.